Alright, good day ladies and gentlemen. Of course, my name is Omoje So Alfred and I'm saying the Swag King. I'm the boss of all bosses. I happen to be among the most innocent guys on the face of planet Earth. Like the Caesar, I came, I saw, and of course I conquered because the street refused to go to church. I made up my mind that I would definitely going to take the church to the street and holy that we may rep Christ with a whole lot of swag. 2 weeks, almost 2 weeks down the line, a lot of persons are saying in their houses, most people complaining of food, some are saying they are okay with the lockdown, and while others are saying they are not really okay with the lockdown. Right now we're going to be discussing all about the lockdown, but before I introduce my guest to you, I would like to go on a very short break, so go nowhere because when I return, you don't want to miss out for this interesting topic, but that will be after the break.
Are you looking for a premium service? Then Swagtv International is the right place for you to be. Our services are promotion of gospel videos, photo shoots, red carpets, event coverage, live interviews, advert placements, TV programs, and videography training. We provide you the best services you can ever think of. You can locate us at 19A Old Aba Road, opposite St. Michael's Primary School, Rumomasi, Port Harcourt, or call 0808 112 3481 or 0706 488 4102. Visit us on Facebook at Swagtv International or Instagram at Swagtv_International. Swagtv International, redefining entertainment and giving back to the nation.
Now welcome back from the break. Of course, with me on set, it is the GO himself. Now most of the time asking question, why did they always call you the GO? Why? And he said he loved that name.
Oh yeah, I like it very well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Alright.
It's actually an acronym for my native name,
Okay.
which means God's own. That's why
Alright.
it's GO and all
Okay.
that. Yeah.
Alright. Okay, now let's look at the shutdown. How's it been?
Well, it's been very wonderful.
Okay.
It's been tasking. It has, for me, it has the good and the bad side.
Okay.
And I also believe that same with every person all over the world. The other day I called a relation in Italy and I was asking how far with this shutdown thing, and they said they've been in for over a month, and I said, wow, we're just like 1 weekend and we're complaining. So it's been wonderful staying at home. It's giving us opportunity to get to know ourselves at home for those who are couple with your family and all that, and also to bend down to read, to watch programs. Unfortunately, we don't have light here in this part of the country, so light is a very major phenomenon in this matter. But it's been wonderful, although it's also boring without light, not going to associate with people and all that. So it's been just like that, the good and the bad of it. Yeah.
Let's focus mainly on the good part according to you. Can we know from you, beyond the fact that you said it gives you opportunity to relate with your family, to know them better, tell us other aspects that you think these are actually benefited you?
Yeah, it's been good for me because it has also afforded me enough rest. I think that's one major aspect I've actually enjoyed. The early morning rush, 5 o'clock, children are getting ready to go to school and all that, getting to catch up time, traffic and all that. So it's been wonderful. I've had, at least now I don't even wake up by 8. At times I wake by 9, 10, trying to make sure I catch up the last rest I didn't catch up with the other time. So it's been very good. And shockingly and interestingly, I have not been used to going to the gym, but my wife used to. And one of these days we had to do some workout in the house, and wow, it was interesting for me. It was interesting, and I had these problems with my leg. I think for like 2 days I couldn't go back to the gym. I had to stay home because my muscle was like cramped and all that. So it's been wonderful.
Okay, now if somebody is actually watching us from the other side of the screen, the person will definitely going to be saying something like, he's saying it because he has everything going in place already. Maybe you have the money in your bank account, you have the food stuff at home, so you can afford going to the gym. And look at the commoners, those that live on a daily income. Now, you and I know that Nigerians as a whole, we live on a daily income. There are people that they have to go out for them to have something to eat for that day. Now, can you talk about their own side? Do you think these people are actually enjoying the lockdown?
Yeah, they are not. They are not. But I think, like the governor of Rivers State says, is the person that is alive that will be talking about food and work and all that. So it's been biting hard. Imagine where somebody, you go to work on a daily basis, but you find it difficult to make ends meet. And this time you're not even going. So it's going to be really, really hard on people. So a lot of people down there in the street have been complaining. They need money, they need food. That's the two major things I think I've seen people complain about in this recent time. And I think it's important the government gives them a listening ear. I think today over the news, I heard the federal government saying that it's going to be giving rice to people and all that. And I think the state governor here has also made arrangement to set up a committee that is going to look into the welfare of people in this area. So I'm sure they will work on that and give us good results.
Okay, now, thank you for giving us that update, telling us that the federal government and the government are also planning on how to send the relief materials to the people in terms of food item and stuff. Now, I noticed something that after 1 week of the lockdown, a lot of persons don't really talk about the virus anymore. What they focus on mainly is the food, the discomfort that they've had staying at home, and of course, majorly people do complain about the electricity aspect, no light, so how do you want us to stay? So we put food at home, the food is bad, we did it, it's bad, we did that, it's bad. We don't know if is that the same thing that you went through. Are you going through that process, like, okay, because the light is not there, so I've been affected, my stuff is bad at the refrigerator and stuff like that?
Yeah, I think part of it as a way to also be free. I think I need to remove this mask now because it's also a problem on its own. I'm actually be like suffocating. Okay. It's part of the things you see in this COVID-19 issue and all that. Okay. But I think, I'm sure the audience will even hear me clearer now. Yeah. Maybe I was like wobbling and all that. So
they will be asking themselves, who is this ninja?
Yeah, so it's also part of the result of the curbing the COVID-19. But I'm sure that when we're out of all this, we'll be free. They will not be talking about stay safe, masks, and all that. Yeah, talking about the experiences so far and all that, people crying. I was surprised. Thank God, kudos to the governor of this state. He just said today, tomorrow, the market should be opened. And on my way driving down here, it was serious traffic on the road. And I was, for some days I've been moving freely, no traffic. What's happening? So when I asked, they said it's because they opened the market.
Yeah,
so
and they will shut it down by 2.
By 2 or 12 or thereabouts and all that. So you can imagine that a lot of persons, somebody sent me a chat the other day, said, right now there is nothing like COVID-19 in Nigeria. What we have, there's a new virus. I said, what's the new virus? I learned there's a new virus in China. Is that the new virus? I said, no. I said, so what's the new virus? The virus, he said is hunger virus. I said, wow. So hunger virus is the latest virus I think Nigerians we are battling with right now because there's no food, there's no money, and if you have the money, the prices of things have like skyrocketed. Something you used to buy. Fortunately for me, somehow, and unfortunately, I traveled the other day. I saw Gary on the road. I bought. They told me 3,005. I was like, madam, can't you reduce the price? Let me give you 3. He said no. I thought it was actually difficult to buy it then. I bought just one basic then, and little did I know that the price would have gone. Right now, I think the price from what I heard is about 10 to 12,000. So if I had known, I would have bought like a bag and all that. So for those who don't have the financial wherewithal to do the same thing, you see it be biting hard on them. And you know, this social distance for me too is also a problem because when your neighbor comes knocking at your door and say, brother, sister, I don't have food, please, can you help me? The first thing you say, no, they say we should operate on social distance, so you don't even want to help. Okay. Currently in my house, before you get into my house, we do a sanitization. My children, if they are going to open the door, they tell you, "Yeah, uncle, hold on, please, let me sanitize you." The only thing I think we are not planning to do right now is to bring a basin of water outside, people wash their hand and all that. So it's been a bit restricted. And to make matter worse, Nigeria, we don't have light. I don't know of other places, but where I stay, basically light is a major big issue. So even though you want to stay at home, you're bored. Just staying without light, sweat and all that. So it's pretty a big challenge for so many people too.
Alright, now Chike, just staying glued to your TV set. Don't forget, my name is Omoje So Alfred, and this is What Next on Swagtv. With me on set is the GO himself, and of course we're looking at the issues people are actually going through this period of the shutdown based on the COVID-19 virus that is ongoing right now. Like that is like the latest in the world. Everybody shouting, everybody screaming, calling the name COVID-19. Now, do you also agree with me that people are actually taking advantage of this virus spread? When I say advantage, I'm saying the market women. Now, you talked about Gary. Gary, to my own understanding, is being produced right here in the country. We don't import Gary.
Yeah.
Okay. Now, if Gary basing from 3,000 we skyrocket to 12,000, don't you think we the masses are also part of the challenges we're also having?
Oh yes, I quite agree with you that people are taking advantage. You know, in economics they talk about demand and supply, the law of scarcity and all that. And you know, people, once there is rush for demand, there is the tendency that the prices of things
skyrocket
goes up and all that. So people now looked at it whether the virus is real or not. But now that people are coming rushing for this, let's take advantage of it and make more money. But unfortunately too, what people also don't understand on the other side, that you're selling a basin of gari, for example, that is sold for 3,500, you're selling it 12,000 naira. Yeah. The other man that is going to sell you fish, pepper and all that has also gotten the information that, man, gari is now high, so he needs to buy gari. So what does he do? He increased the price of his fish, he increased the price of his tomato and all that. So the prices of everything is automatically, so it's a chain reaction. But I think these are commodities that are produced here in Nigeria, and they are locally made, and we don't really need to do that. But quite unfortunate, human beings being what they are, which I don't want to agree to, they always want to take advantage of even evil situations. And I think the government need to look into that. They need to look into that and bring down the prices of a lot of these commodities so that the commoners can also feel at home as well.
Okay, now, years ago, somebody walked up to me and told me that Nigeria is a country that has no law. Now, I try not to believe that statement. I try not to believe that word now, because why? I think I'm also a good citizen of this country. So basically, you hardly find me talking negative word about the country, because where you want to raise up your children, where you want to build a living from, you don't need to insult, you don't need to put it down. Okay, now, but don't you think the part which people take law into their hands, increase their food stock and everything, do you point it back to the government like years ago they didn't do something to regulate the prices in the market? So for instance, I can be selling my gari for 12,000, another person selling for 8,000, another one is selling for 20,000. The yam is being sold for 1 tuber of yam for 3,500, 2,000. Do you actually put that on the masses themselves, or maybe the government didn't actually play a good role years back?
Okay, when you talk about law, I believe there are laws in this country.
Yes,
but the problem I think we have is the problem of implementation of our laws.
Okay.
Just like in the Bible, they will tell you it is not just the hearer that is blessed, but it's the doer. So there is always the action part to every aspect of life. And so when you put down those laws and people are not sticking to it, then you look at stringent measures to get people done, bent to doing all that. I think the government too were, to my little understanding, were not too proactive to foresee that aspect, that yes, there's a tendency that people want to increase the price of their commodity. I'm sure if they've worked on that proactive enough, they would have been able to maybe curb some of those excesses to reduce the cost of the prices going here and there, everybody have it. So I think there should be a network where there should be a regulatory body regulating the cost of what they are selling. I think it will help to salvage this situation very well.
Okay, so while we wait for the government to do that, because they really need to do something about that, but while we wait for them to do that, what do you think will be the solution we need right now, like to avoid now, when I'm saying solution, I'm not talking about we are the one going to look for the vaccine, no, and to stop the fact that those people are crying every day. Okay, what do you think? Because I think they placed task force in place to checkmate people, and some of them are actually, seriously speaking, I think I should start from there. The task force, the one I saw last week, I don't think they are maintaining the rules.
Yeah, somehow it's normal at times. It's not really normal, but it's abnormal, but it's normal somehow. You know, human beings, once you're given the opportunity to do certain things, some of the time people want to overstep their bounds. And I think that's what the task force do. Although I've not encountered any of them, but I've heard them over the news, and people complaining the task force doing above or beyond what they are asked to do. For me, the task force is to regulate people, to regulate situations. But where the task force are now involved in the abnormalities, then I think it's a big problem. I think there the government need to look downwards. Once in a while, just breeze around where you have the task force and do a surprise check on them to be able to know whether they are following the stringent measures that are laid down or not. So the task force, I think they need to look at them too. Very, very important to help us salvage this situation. Then talking about saving, what should we be doing, and what should be done.
What should we do? How do we we're not saying we're going to put up all the problems away, no, but I think we can manage them. We can go to that point where everybody's a little bit comfortable, and just okay, we can do something with this.
Yeah, I think we can really do something. One is to stay safe.
Okay.
They told me I'm not a good swimmer anyway, but I do ply the road, ply waters and all that. And they said, you make sure you save yourself first before you save another person if you are inside the river.
How do I want to stay safe if I'm hungry? Now, like say, an hungry man is an angry man.
Oh, yeah.
You ask me to stay in my house and I don't have food to eat. You want me to remain in that house when there is no food? Yeah,
that is where the government needs to cushion some of these things to help. But again, food is not the ultimate. Somebody said, hungry don't kill. I'm yet to really believe that statement. But to an extent, I'm sure if you are safe, then you'll be talking of food.
Okay.
Dead people don't cry for food. So, yeah, there's no food, no money, people are crying, complaining here and there. But that does not give you the opportunity to go out there and get yourself infected. So you must carry out some of these day-to-day activities of staying safe, sanitizer, washing your hands, distancing and all that, while you're also trying to make ends meet. You can meet your neighbor. It's just quite unfortunate today in our world, everybody is scared of the next door neighbor. But in those good old days, I remember growing up, then we used to, festive period, Easter, Christmas and all that, we used to eat together.
Yes.
You go to your neighbor, I don't have gari, I have salt, or you eat together. But now, because of the way the world is today, everybody is like scared of his shadow, not to talk of the next door neighbor. So ordinarily, if I don't have enough food in my house and I notice my neighbor has, I can go, guy, please, can you give me some? For now.
In a situation like this, let me put myself in the side of the general public. Okay. This is a family man with his wife and 3 children, and they are all crying for food. They cry, they cry. Do you think as a father, do you think you can endure and taking that pain? The pain that your children are crying for food and you can't do nothing, you are just harmless simply because the government says you should stay at home. Do you think at that point that man does not have the right to break that rules to say anything I want to happen, let it happen, my children must stay?
Definitely. Yeah, if he does that, yeah, he's doing that at his own risk and the risk of his family and the society. Yeah, we won't say that because of hungry you cry and stay there, but I'm sure you don't necessarily need to break the rule to get food. God, if you break the rule and you get out there's no food. So what happens? So for me, yeah, in that kind of situation, that's why I talked about your neighbor. Okay. You get to your neighbor, because if you're coming out, if everybody is in their houses and you're crying of food and you say you want to break the rule of coming out, who are you going to meet on the street? Nobody. That means maybe you want to go and steal or whatever. But I think we cannot do this neighborliness living. You meet your next door neighbor. Maybe he has some he can give you for a while. We're not saying that COVID-19 is going to be forever. It's only going to be for a while. And we're trusting God to help us get out of this whole mess very, very soon. So it's just a temporary thing. It's a pain we all need to bear for now. Meet your neighbor. Stick to yourself. Manage. Most times the problem we have. I was looking at this COVID thing and I was looking at the Bible and I was telling myself, wow, in the days of Joseph, God showed the king a dream and he said 7 years there's going to be a lot of food and 7 years there's going to be scarcity. So I was asking myself, how did these people for 7 years stay and they coped or whatever and all that? So which simply also tells us in the days of plenty, the government has given us announcement, information before time. Those days of plenty, what we would have done was to begin to save little by little. And when you save little by little for those who have, and those who may say, I don't also have it, then in the days when the things are not okay, you take them bit by bit. If you used to eat 3 times a day, discipline yourself. Now it's not favorable. You can eat at least once or twice a day, gradually before we get out of this. But you know, when there is food, you are eating like 3 basins of gari in a go. Then now there is no food, you still expect to eat 3 basins of gari, then you're eating your future as well. So planning, I think, is also very important. Yes, for those who say my own kind of life is I go to work today, the money I make is what I eat and all that. Yes, I know, I feel the pain. I know that those people too may not find it easy. But I would advise, if you can, some persons too is out of pride. They don't want to go, you're dying of hunger and your neighbor is busy throwing away food. You can meet your neighbor, please help me. And I'm sure if your neighbor is good enough, he will do that for you.
And of course, I know the people of this great country, Nigeria, and of course from Rivers State, I know they are kind people, so they are willing to help, they are willing to assist. We've been hearing, we've been seeing news and articles on social media about people that went out of their way to buy food stuff and assist people. Yeah, I love the people. All right, ladies and gentlemen, before we continue, we would like to have a short break, so go nowhere. Stay glued to your TV set. Don't leave that place because we'll be right back very soon.
Regardless of the words you're telling me that the sky is my limit, I know that I can reach for the stars. I may live in my emotions and you may scrutinize my expression, but I will make every moment count. I will claw, punch and kick my way to every barrier that leads to the top, because I know that I can break a nail. I am more than what you see. I am more than entertainment. I am Swagtv, giving back to the nation.
Welcome back from the break. Don't forget, the name is So Alfred, and this is What Next on Swagtv. You want to say thank you for being with us at the studio.
It's my pleasure.
Okay, but now the final question before you leave. Now, do you think that things will definitely go back to normal after this crisis? When I mean normal, I'm talking about the first day they said, okay, right now you can all go back to work, borders should be open and everything should be like this, like that, and we'll just go back to normal and things just start flowing.
Yeah, it's not going to be normal, at least for like a week.
Okay.
We'll still be trying to adjust ourselves For some of us that have been sleeping till like 9 or 10, your system, your chemistry need to also be adjusted and all that. It's not going to be very, very normal for like a weekend, because people need to readjust themselves because of the shutdown. A lot of things have gone down the drain. A lot of persons we need to reawaken their ideas. A lot of persons we need to start facing the hustling. It's going to be tough. It's going to be really, really tough. For the first, from my calculation, for the first 1 week, it's going to be a bit tough. But after then, we'll start getting back to where we left it before. So it's a gradual process. So people shouldn't be out there, shouldn't think that once they call off this whole thing, everybody will just bounce back. It's not very, very possible. It's not possible. You have to restart the car. If you've not used your car for some time, you parked it. You don't just go there, ignite the car and start running. No, you have to steam it, allow it to steam for a while, pick up before you start moving. So that's how it's going to be for like a week and thereabout. Yeah.
Now, talking about, we're talking about the benefits so far, all this why advice and everything. What have you missed? What have you lost? What have you, in respect to this?
Wow.
What have you missed? What have you lost?
I've lost quite a lot of things. In terms of meeting with people, going for programs. One of the biggest things I actually missed during this program is the call off of the apostolic worship that was supposed to take place 27th of March. Because of the COVID-19, it was put off, put on hold and all that, and so many other programs. And some of my friends in the entertainment industry also have some wonderful events they've arranged for this period, but COVID-19 is just there, so nobody can really do anything. I also feel pained for those who are supposed to have been married within this period. Some of them had to postpone their wedding. Some persons had one function or the other, barriers and all that. So it's actually painful for them. Some of them have actually invested money. And you know, when you're planning for an event, monies have gone down the drain, advert and all that. You can't go back to studio or to take back and say, I gave you money for 20 slots and look at it, 3 days to the thing, the government has placed a ban, so please give me back. They will just laugh at it. So quite painful. There's also the painful part of it. But all the same, we give thanks to God, because a songwriter said, where there is life, there is hope. Yeah.
Okay, so what do we do? Advice from you right now. What do we do that you think when we do this thing is going to ease down our pain? Now, you talked about advice, you talked about putting stuff together. So what do we do that will...
Yeah, I think my
creative mind and stuff.
My advice to people out there...
When you are advising, please consider the fact that we have the young people, we have the fathers, we have the mothers, we have the entrepreneurs, we have the workers, we have...
Yeah, my advice is for every person. First and foremost, I think it also gives us an opportunity to know God, get close to God more, spend more time in His presence, depend on Him, study His word, worship Him and all that. It's also a time for us to also put our heart, put our head into thinking. Some of us are just there, we're not thinking, we're not creative. I think this lockdown is also a time for us to go back and begin to look at what do you do for a living, what are the things you can do outside what you're doing, what creative thing you can think out of it. Somebody once said it is actually the situation of the country that made him discover his talent. I said, I don't understand. He said, yes, he did biochemistry in school, but today he's a comedian. I said, how? He said, yes, when there was no money to continue going to school and all that, before he knew, it's just so that he can make people laugh, and all of a sudden he started doing that and he developed on it. Today he's not talking about biochemistry, he's talking about comedy, entertainment. So situations like this can also help us look down. And for students as well, some of them were in the midst of writing examination before all this. I think it's also an opportunity for you to prepare them more, get to your books the more. It's not just sleeping and watching movie on the net and all that. No, it's also time for you to look at your book the more, and for every person is to look inwardly. What more can I do to better myself after this period? So I think that's what everybody should look inward to do. Yeah.
I want to say thank you for coming. I want to say thank you for staying glued to your TV set. Also, don't forget to follow us on our social media handle. On Facebook, it's Swagtv International. On Instagram, it's Swagtv_. International, and of course on YouTube is Swagtv. Gio, want to say thank you for coming. First of all, want to say sorry for calling off your event. I know you put in so much, so much into that amazing event, and you decide to call it off just because you have to obey the rules and regulations of the government, those in power and authority. So I want to say thank you also for that. For staying at home, because you're just talking. You guys you're just talking because you get everything for house. I mean, we'll pack our look full and stay. Imagine this time period, did you do exercise? Okay, now you were just talking because you already have things in place, and some of them are like, man, just talk. But he actually said something that is so interesting. Look inward. That's something you can do. That's something you can do. That's something you can create out from this period, and you just discover that will just be what we're going to be putting money in your pocket, food into your mouth, even after this crisis. Always stay safe, and you say lock yourself indoors. One thing I know that the government are actually doing a lot. They've done so much to make sure that this thing does not spread beyond the way it is right now. But I beg on our task force view. I think I have issue with task force guys. That's where my issue is. That's where my issue is. And I beg you, please, I beg on our Monday, please, okay. I think the best way for you to do is, in a period like this, in a situation like this, if anyone breaks the rule, I think that's a better way for you to
treat the people. Let's treat human beings as human beings, not like animals.
And all that. Paying money to pay themselves.
And I think on the news today I heard the governor of Cross River State, and I was just like, wow, is this going to be real? He said Operation No Max, whether if you don't wear the mask and you're caught, you're going to pay 300,000. And I was just like, wow, this is going to be wonderful, because you just see some people who just publicly walk around the street and say, come and carry me. If the whole of my life, everything put together is not up to even 50,000, then by the time everybody now gets carried, where will you get 300? At that point, I was just thinking that by the time the government is able to catch like 300 persons and they don't have anything to pay themselves, it will be the government that will now say, I beg you, don't do, you're making they go.
Okay.
And all that. But I think it's a way to curb some of these excesses. But for me, that amount is quite outrageous.
Like that, you provide nose masks for the people.
Yeah, I think on the news they said they provided.
For everybody in Akwa Ibom State?
No, in Cross River. I think they said the governor has done that.
Oh, sir. Okay. Yeah. Now, everybody in Cross River right now has a nose mask. They went from house to house, door to door.
I don't really know how they did that, but that's what is on the news, that they've provided, and so you need to wear it.
Okay. If they actually gave you nose mask and they say you should put it on, okay, all right, put it on, okay. But I think it's outrageous. Okay, 300,000 is something. I think they should look into that matter. I want to say thank you for staying glued. Thank you. Always stay safe. Wash your hands regularly. Always use hand sanitizer. Social distancing. Okay, I don't know why they say that, but social distancing sometimes might also help. Together we can fight this thing. And one of the ways also, please look out for your neighbor. Like what Gio just said, look out for your neighbor. Try to be your neighbor, your next door neighbor's keeper. Okay. You know you have access to it, give them today. Tomorrow they might be the one giving back to you. Okay, so don't eat alone. This is not the time when you take those days. I know sometimes when you want to eat chicken, just want your neighbor to know you're eating chicken. So this is not the best time for you to eat the chicken alone. Call them and also ensure you share with them. We want to say thank you for coming again.
Thank you very much. It's my pleasure.
Yeah, because we know we're definitely going to bring you back. We're definitely going to bring you back, but maybe that will be like sometimes next week. Yes, I think we're saying at that time we're going to deal with the task force matter. So let's give them. If they continue their nonsense, we're going to talk about them. But right for now, I want to say thank you for coming. Thank you. Don't forget, I'm going to pack my things. I'm going to come to your house. Okay.
No problem.
Stay for this period. All right. I don't eat so much, but I'm just going to stay here. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you till next time.
Yes.
Bye for now.